All right, we have 2008. Now, I was taking acting classes, you know, fawning over actresses. 2008 was a different time for me. I had just finished publishing my first book, and I got to this point. Now, there's more to me than just art. I also do writing, and I do a lot of writing. And I'm very proud of the work I put together. So, what you're seeing here is some of the art that I did from the year of '08. I'll go through these. I got to move the fucking cursor over here. This is Drake, the character. I think I've shown this before. So the way it is, it's you have my picture here, right? And then you have the character of Drake. And so he says, "One must sacrifice to do it right, but the job will be done." He's very straightforward. Okay. This is a Drake emblem with skulls and crown. This is something I made for someone. I think I still have it, but basically it's Hello Kitty with all of the characters from Sanrio. You know, I don't know their names. I'm not going to pretend to know their names, but they're all in there. So for those of you who are Hello Kitty fans, there you go, something for you. This was something to promote my book. So it highlights my counterpart, my fictional counterpart, with the Rye, Gino, Rosemary, and Jorge in the background. This it's kind of like a let's read, kind of a reading poster, like in the library you'd find in a public library. Uh, Now I'm going to tell you a little story here behind these next four murals that you're going to see. So one of the parks in Southern California, you have a guy who's in charge of physical education or physical like recreation. Okay, some parks have little buildings, and they may have people who look like they're PE coaches, and they're in charge of doing like after school exercises for kids who uh, you know if they have like football, baseball, basketball, some sort of recreation, whatever kids want to do after school. Okay, the director in charge of recreations wanted me or asked me and another person to do a mural for one of the buildings in a park. Okay. And it's a park near, like, about maybe about 2 or 3 miles from the house I used to live in. So this park would have a mural. And I wanted to put my characters. Now, this is sign language, but not sign language in real time, of course. This is Drake doing the sign for leader, Rye for intelligence, Gino for humor, Rosemary for love, and Jorge for power. Um, it didn't take me long to do these. Here are the Devastators. This is Jerry the Reaper, Zetrolok, um, Huicho, Violet, and Jesus. Jesus is Jorge's brother. Violet is Rosemary's half sister. Huicho is Gino's uncle. This is the alien from another planet in a robot body, and Jerry is Drake's cousin. They're doing. This is another mural that says death. Here is the sign for death, destroy, greed, desire, and muscle. So this was like when I redrew these characters, I used the Legend of Zelda, Wind Waker, and some Canadian animation to inspire me to draw this way. I wanted a more toon look. Here are the circus freaks. This is electricity, robotic, and plant. These are, of course, the characters of Eco, Ashcan, and Mud. I think it's Mud or Mutt. I forget what I named these characters now. Now this one, I'll show you up close. You can see there, I'll, it's very important you see that. If you can't see it. It's very difficult to see it, but that is right there the signature of Stan Lee. That is Stan Lee's signature. Stan Lee came to an event and uh, he signed one of my art. So I was very happy for that. Zoom out a little bit. Don't think I can get that any higher. Whatever. So this is based on Captain America. Now, I fucked up. I put the accent mark on the I and it should be on the E, but I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking about just doing this art. This is Mexican Avenger comics based on Captain America comics. This was based on the first comic book that Stan Lee ever wrote or ever got his hands dirty. He wrote for a Captain America comic book back in 1940 or 1941. I think it was 1940. I don't remember if comic books, I think there were comic books that were quarterly, but I could be thinking of Superman when he got his own comic book. That was the 1940s. So instead of Captain America, we have the Mexican Avenger. Instead of Bucky, we have Rosemary. We have, instead of the Red Skull, we have Jerry. We have we have a cat tied down. That's Valiant. We have, instead of Nazis, we got Gino, we got Jorge, we got Drake and Ryan. It's just a parody. That's all it was. That's all I wanted to do with that. But it's good that Stan Lee signed it. Here we got 5 characters of the Angels of New Day. This one here is Tulip, Zether, Sillabone, Kaleido, and Io. And this is another mural. This is the last mural, I think, for Blossom, sign for Blossom, music, technology, imagination, and foreign. Here is another one. This is Merry Christmas from the Outcasters. This is Christmas of 08. And we have Oyeye Wambui and her son Kamau, who has to use sign language. That's Kris Kringle Clarity. If you remember from my last stories, he was that racist. We got the Outcasters here. This is a redrawing of them in their costumes. Here's Little Miss Valentine, and here is Jerry as the Reaper, or as the Ghost of Christmas Future. So you have the Ghost of Christmas Future and the Ghost of Christmas Past or Present. I don't know. It's hard to remember now. I don't remember these things anymore. But we got Jorge as Santa Claus. And here is a very lifelike image of Rosemary. What I did for this was I combined Sharpie and colored pencil and crayon to make this effect. Now, it had been a while since I did comic strips, since I think 2003, 2004. Here you got Rosemary, and we're going back to the humor. I sold some of these things. I did some art, and I sold them for like 50 cents a piece for each copy. And so Rosemary, in this is a parallel universe where Rosemary is a human resources leader. And she's talking shit. She's getting mad. And we got here, that's Laura Schaefer, the Pink Society feminazi leader. And we got Gino with insects circling his head, and Rosemary. And, there's problems at the office. Kind of like a Dilbert comic strip. So Rosemary tries to get Gino to bathe, and he doesn't want to do that. And Jorge grabs him, and they fling him into the shower room. I try to make it like a 70s style kind of carpeting and wallpaper. And she's saying, I love you in Thai. That's the Thai language. And she's saying, I love you in Thai. There's Laura Schaefer again in her Pink Society group. This was way back. I mean, I had these dated 4/22/08, long before Me Too, long before any of this stuff. Okay. And the power goes out. And there's another mysterious figure, but I think you should kind of know who that is. Oh, so he's fixing the air conditioner. So it's Rai. Rai's a little Japanese kid that can fix anything. So I was very happy to do this art. You had a lot of facial expressions, animations. Uh, this was just a lot of work. You know, this one I did in May. I did one or two more, and I think I ended it in May of '08. Here we got the Outcasters rocking to the '80s. This was I tried to do this for a friend. I don't think he appreciated it much. Whatever. It's basically the Outcasters in '80s punk rock gear. So you got Drake in a weird skull face mask, leather jackets and shit. You got Rye, you got Gino, you got Jorge and Rosemarie. Uh, it's just different styles I came up with to make them look like, you know, teeny bopper greaser look. So that was what I did. I don't remember the. I'm not going to read this out, but this is a poem I did. The Day of the Dead. Got 30 something Rosemarie. Here is Gino. Now, what I did was I looked at Piolín and Elvez for this one. This one was a difficult one. This was a difficult one to do. But I combined Elvez and Piolín and created Gino from that. Because I don't have a picture of the real. This is based on the real Gino Juarez, who I met at East Los Angeles College. Great guy. I had no problem with him at all. And there's another Gino stamp. Here is Jorge. I had to look at some photos of big, oversized people to get this facial expression right. It's like Donkey Kong, it's like it's got a sandwich. They all have an important quote to say. The size of your fight depends on the size of your balls. Here's another Jorge stamp. I looked at another photo. This is based on a child. Rye. Whatever we build never ever satisfies whatever we imagine. This is some sort of a turbine, kind of an air-powered, kind of a jetpack, but it's got roller skates. He's got this thing. So I used the same technique, Sharpie and pencil, to make that realistic 3D shading. And it's right there. And here is Rosemarie. Love me, hate me, but don't ever fuck with me. That is my phrase ever. Okay. That goes with the 4 rules of don't steal, don't kill, respect people's property, do unto others, but don't fuck with me. Don't fuck with people unless they really, truly deserve it. And there's another rose stamp. And let me go ahead and put this in slide. I'll do some final thoughts. Overall, this was a quiet time that I could kind of go back and look at all the work I did before and say, what do I need to improve? I needed to improve my storytelling. I needed to improve my art. I needed to improve the way I told stories. It wasn't until 2010 that I started to work on the next book. But here you get an idea. Now I did start on the Outcasters Rye. I'm not going to show that one because most of the Japanese for that one is not that good. It's not that well written. But I took the time, now my throat's hurting, to really, really work on this. But I'm happy with this work. I'm happy with most of the work I've done. Okay. I don't know what's going to happen to me. I don't know if I'll die by accident. I'm going to, suicide is never off the table, but I'm not going to die in East LA. I'm not going to die in the ghetto. I will not die with these stupid ass people that I have as neighbors. I won't. I simply will not. I am going to die my own way, on my own terms. But before I do, I want to show this work because I know I get 0 responses. I may get thumbs down. If people thumbs down my work without understanding what I'm doing, well, here's my response, okay? But in all seriousness, this is the work that I put out, okay? I do this work and people nod their heads. And then they like to come back later and say I didn't do shit. And I'm going to tell you to go fuck yourself because I work hard. I'm just as competent as anybody else. I'm not autistic. I'm not chemically imbalanced. Pretty sure I'm not, okay? I have college degrees. I got good grades in my later years, okay, because I had to make up for lost time. I had my moments of falling down and having to get back up, just like John McCain, okay? But at the same time, I'm not going to be taken for granted just because people are stupid and uneducated, you know, which a lot of people on YouTube are. I don't know about my audience, but I want people to understand why I do these things. You don't have to like this work. You don't have to jerk off to this work. You don't have to think about this work 24/7, but understand why I did it and why it may be relevant to you. And that's all that really matters. So, this is Maestro Drake signing out. Be kind, be cruel, be you, and have a good Labor Day. It's been 3 years since I started my channel. Let's see if I can do 3 more years.